Hello everyone. Today we are going through set up an NFT project, and we start moving inside the 3D space. Now, last time we said, okay, we are going to produce a project about aliens that is called the Human's Cousins, and we said that we want to create an NFT based on three traits mainly, which is like the background, the body, and some accessory. Now, the first important thing is to set up the entire project in the computer in an organized folder, because when we will go through the process of putting it together, all the layers with the an auto-generative script, is very important to keep things very organized. Okay, then let's start seeing how to organize the folder in the computer. Okay, now let's wait for Blender 1 second. Okay, then what I've done here is inside the 3D workshop project, I created the Human Cousin NFT project folder, which will contain everything we need for to create our NFT. Then, if I open this, I will see inside now I have only a layer subfolders. In these layers, what I will have, I will go to export the image to in layering, that at the end, with an auto-generative script, the algorithm will put them together again. Then it's very important to divide the traits. Then what I've done here, I just call them with the name they have. The background traits is gonna be 0, 1. Also, the number is important because it gives the priority to the layer that will appear first in the auto-generative algorithm. Then background, I put body, and I put accessories. Now, when you do this, I will actually create my Blender file inside the Human Cousin NFT project. Here will be the Blender file, and probably I will have even other folders later. We will see from the next time. For example, if I need some image reference to create my 3D model, I will create a folder here, probably called image reference, and I put everything I need. Or for example, if I need some textures, etc., etc., or sound, probably if you need sound. Then let's move in Blender and create the Blender file of our project to be saved in this folder, the Human's Cousin NFT project. Again, while you open Blender, this is the scenario you will find, a camera, a light, a cube, as was said already. Because we start a new project, usually I select all and cancel everything I have. Now, it's very important, as I said already, the keyboard shortcut in Blender. With keyboards you do everything, and it's very important, for example, the differentiation between the numbers. Last time I didn't say that, but the numpad numbers and the numbers on top of the keyboard, they have different used. Okay, if you don't have a numpad, I highly recommend to go to change the setup on your computer. Most of the time you don't have a numpad on a laptop. Then it's because it's very important to work with numbers, and you will see later, and I will show you now actually here with the numpad. If I press 1, I go in front view, and here is telling you front orthographic. If I press 3, I go from side view, the right orthographic view. If I press 7, I go from the top. Okay, then somehow, if you don't have the numpad, it won't work with your laptop. Then you have to go in edit preferences, and then you go in input, if I'm not wrong. Wait a second. Yes, and then on the keyboard here on top you have to switch on emulate numpad, and then you will use the numbers on top of the keyboard, exactly like the other one. Okay, now okay, let's go move on. Okay, this another very important part of then, okay, to delete everything, sorry, you select all by pressing A. Remember that here you can see the keyboard shortcut I will use. Then A to select all. If you have that to deselect, you press double time A, or Alt A. Then if you press A and then you want to delete everything, it's not backspace to delete, but it's the letter X. X delete, and it's asking you want to delete everything is selected, you press yes, and everything is gonna get deleted. Okay, now here you have up here everything that you will find in the scene collection. You have a collection here, folder. Okay, these you can rename it as you want. Now, because we want to keep things organized, we will have 3 different collections, one per every trait. Then we will do a collection for backgrounds, and I will call it 01 background. Inside this collection, this is the name of this folder, inside this collection I will put everything that will regards the background 1, then the background 2, then the background 3. Then I will do actually subfolder inside when I will create the backgrounds, etc. Then I will do another collection called 02 body, and the third one, sorry, not like this. You can drag and drop out and then rename it, and I will rename 03 accessory. Okay, now that I create these 3 things, I can start creating inside here inside the viewport. Okay, now usually to create everything you can you can place yourself in layout panel. Okay, actually in the layout panel visualization, where you have mainly like timeline here and the viewport here, where you can start producing things. Now I will start producing a background and body and accessories with very basic, with very basic mesh. Mesh is the shape of a primitive mesh, like a cube, a sphere, a cone, a torus, which is the famous donut. And we will play with the basic of these shapes just to show you how to maneuver them and how you can place things together and create object by multiple object. Now I will show you, and next time I will show you how to create a beautiful alien or a beautiful body or a beautiful background. Today is not about modeling, next time is going to be about modeling in 3D. Okay, then let's start placing backgrounds. For example, in our last collection, most of the time, the background, the plain background was just a plane. Then how to add things? Okay, usually if you press Shift A or add mesh, you see the Shift A button is actually opening this menu here. Then Shift A, add what? Mesh. Usually in the first thing here you can curve, you can create other stuff like lights and other things, but mainly here is where you can create primitive mesh, like for example a cube, like for example a sphere. With G grab you can move, like for example torus. Okay, from this shape you can manage and you can recreate whatever else. To undo, of course, is Control Z. Okay, now if okay, let's create a background. Then I will create 2 or 3 backgrounds. Okay, then one is gonna be okay, if I create like a normal background, like with the plane, what I can do now, I can rotate, because the black background like this is more like a floor. Then if I want like a vertical background, I have to rotate it. Now you will see these lines. Okay, usually the red line is referred to the X, the green line is to refer to the Y, which is the depth, and then there is the blue line that you don't see because it's per default is removed, but is the Z. Okay, you can apply it from here, you don't need it most of the time. Okay, I will remove it. But okay, and then with this instrument, which is called Gizmo, you can understand how you can move, and and you can use them as well as the keyboard shortcut. For example, if you want to move on the Z, you can take this arrow and move it up, and then is, you know, the movement is going to be anchored on and constrained on the Z axis. But as well, you can do with the rotation, and then if you press, okay, with shift you can go much more slower and thinner, and if you don't press, or you can even say, okay, I undo. You can even, if you know how much you want to rotate, for example, you know that here you have to rotate around the x-axis because it's the red one, then I can press R, X, and then I press 90, and then now it's moving it on the 90 degrees. Then if I press 1, I will see my plane in front. Okay, let's say that this is going to be my background number 1. We will give them later different shape and different colors. Now I will make you some tips and tricks, and I show you something funny. Okay, let's say the first background is the basic one, and I call it 01 background plane. Here you can give it a name. Okay, later when they will have color, it's very important to name them, as well as you want the metadata to be named. Then that's why it has to be organized. Then the trait will have the name of the 3D object will have the name of the trait. Then it's easier later to manage and to organize all the work. Then, for example, this is one background plane. Now, if I want to copy and make a copy of it, okay, first I want to create subfolder of all of them. Then I will create a new folder, a new collection inside. You can do in two ways. You can press a button here, create a new collection, and then you can give the same name, plane, and then put the one inside. Or now I show you another way to create another background, another collection, okay, from the viewport. Okay, if I copy this now, and let's say that I want to base my new background on the same of this, but we create with variation. Then I can duplicate. Then how to duplicate an object? Shift D to duplicate. Now you don't see it, but there is two of them. Now if I will switch off the previous. I will create a new. Now I want to move this in a new folder, but I don't want to create it from here like I did. I want to create from here because it's probably more easy when you are going to be fast and do many things at once. Then I will do this. I press M to move in where I say, okay, I want it in background, and inside background I can create a new collection, and I call it 02 background, and then I can write instead plane, I don't know, rough or geometric. Let's do something geometric. Okay, now well, I didn't move it, sorry. Background, new collection, we said 02. I didn't press. Okay, background, geometric. Okay, and this will have the same name, 02. Okay, now okay, I will switch off. You can see from here, you can switch off the entire collection, as well as any single piece of the collection. What is this eye and what is this camera? This eye means the visibility on the viewport. This is the visibility in render. Then, for example, if I switch off this but not this, when I will go to render, we will see later what is a render, is the finalization of the image. This background plane will be visible. Okay, then now okay, the plane, I don't want to touch it, I want the geometric and to do something geometric. Okay, now this is the concept of working in object mode. Now if I want to modify, I can go in edit mode. This can be activated by pressing tab Now, if you press tab, okay, these actually, in object mode, you treat your own mesh like an object, however is made, whatever is made of, it's an object moving all around, you know, as a single thing. When you go in edit mode, you edit that object. For example, I don't know, I want to edit it like this, or put this point, okay, and then from now this object will have this shape. Okay, now as you can see, this plane have only 4 vertex. Remember, you know, like a 3D object is made by vertex, edge, and when the edge are closed, surface. Then a lot of surface together, like the cube, it makes a volume. Now everything is made by this little point. Then somehow, how can I modify this? Okay, this is very important. I show you. Okay, we can select all, and then if you go on this little menu that is next to the edit mode, you see edge, face, vertex. Okay, all these things, they do something around the vertex, edge, and stuff. Now we can subdivide it by going in edge. This is a very important thing we always do, and press edge subdivide. Now as you can see, when you open this, it's gonna be subdivided in 2 parts per every side. But if you open this little window, you can create much more subdivision. Okay, I will put now something like, I don't know, 20. And now you can see that this is exactly like the other one. Let's see them together. What changed? Okay, they are the same sides. If I go here, I can see they are 2 meter per 2 meter, 2 meter per 2. Same sides, same. They have different location, of course, because one is here and one is here. But if I go in edit mode, now this is made by one face. This is made by much more faces. Okay, this is very important because somehow we have to try to keep as many low polygon that we can to have a better time of rendering when you have a lot of complicated things, but you need enough polygon to have a good resolution. Then of course from this polygon depends a lot of the precision and details you will have in the image, but as much more polygon you have, much more heavy will be your project, of course. Now I will go back to here. I will put them together back to the center. You see, if I go in center, in front view by pressing 1, that you can even do by doing this. You press on the X, sorry, you press on the Y to see front view. X is right or left view. Then you press on Y, and if I press, okay, if in this shape you see this little this point which is called pivot point around the what, you know, around who everything turn, and you know and it's like the point, the heart of this shape. Okay, if it's there, when I put it, if I press Alt G, everything will be replaced. It will be placed on the center. Okay, then if it's rotated somehow, and I press Alt R, it's gonna be rotated back to 0. Then RX90. Now I bring this Alt B in the center, and now I switch off the one on top plane, because this is just a plane. I want to modify a little bit this. Okay, let's see how to modify it. Now I can modify in many ways this thing. What I can try to do now is, for example, something very simple. Select, you know, you can select random points. Select random, for example, and now I can try to do something like this. I grab all these vertex along the Y, and you see, and you create a geometric thing. Okay, then now this is our geometric background, which I will show in rendering as well, and this is our plane. Then we have our first 2 traits in the background. Okay, now let's move on. Let's make some simple bodies, like very elementary bodies. I will switch off the background now, and we will start creating body. For example, okay, I go, let's start, Okay, I will show you how to model a very beautiful, better body, more beautiful next time. A lot of technique in one class. I will show you, actually 2 classes. I will show you a lot of technique of modeling. Now I show you how to put object together. Let's say that we want a little body, a little something, okay, made by a cube or and a head. Okay, then while you create the cube is always coming out by 2 meter per 2 meter per 2 meter. Okay, be careful. Look, if I scale it down in object mode, look what happened. You can scale it down by pressing S and look at these numbers. Of course, the dimension is getting reduced, but also the scale of the object. And be careful, you see, they are moving in the same way. If I go in edit mode, look what happened. I can rescale it down. If I go back in object mode, what happened? The scale of the cube is the real size is much less. It's not 2 meters, it's like 50 centimeters now. But the scale of the object is still 1. This is very important to keep it like this. Why? Because when you use physics and other stuff, for example, like water or little things bouncing or doing animation, what happens is that, you know, the dimension of things has to be interpreted in the same scale. Then somehow if you have some object that look like the other one, but has the scale dimension much bigger than the other one, on the same wind physics, for example, they won't react in the same way, because one, it reacts like if it was huge. Okay, then somehow if you forget it and you scale it down from the object mode and you realize that this is happening, you can always apply this new scale, etc., etc. How you do it? With Control A, you apply. In this case, I don't want to apply location, I want to apply the scale. Now, from the moment I apply the scale, you will see the scale in the panel, in the transform panel, going back to 1. Okay. Okay, now what I can do here is this one. Usually, when I create whatever in object mode, I always modify it in edit mode. Then I will go in edit mode. I will modify a bit this, just to give it a human, shape. Then somehow, I don't know, let's go inside view, let's make it a bit smaller in the width, then scale as Y, okay. Now you see, if I go on side view and I select everything, I select only the point that I see. If I want to select everything, I have to switch on the X-ray or transparency, and then now when I select all, I select the both of them. Then I go back inside view, scale Y, I make it thinner, and I go back in front view, I make S, X, okay, that's kind of a body. L, I can move it. If I select A, select all, grab G, Z, I move it up, okay, and now I can put a head on top. Now I can, I can do this. I go back in object mode. If I want to make a head, like if it's a sphere, and again I scale, I bring it up, I apply the scale. Okay, now I can do 2 ways. Okay, you see now, if I have the body and I make body number 1, 0, 1, body 1, and I want them to be both. Okay, I can take them both and put them here. This can be a body, but what if I want to treat it like one on object only? Okay, I can do this being parent of this, for example. Then I can say the head is one object itself and the body is one object itself, but they have to be together. Then this follow always this. Then I can select the first one, then the second, the principal later, okay, the main object second, and then I press Ctrl P and say parent to object. Then now these, they go together, but they are 2 different objects. Or I can do better, I can join them, and I press this, and this, and Control J to join. Now you see, now they don't have two pivot points, they have one, because this become one object. And if I go in edit mode, you see now I can edit this one and this one exactly in the same time. And this is what we will do next time. We will start from a basic mesh and create our body, and create the body of our then now we create, let's say, the first body. We duplicate like we did before, and we move M in a new collection inside the body. New collection, I will call it 02 body, 02 body. Okay, this 01 is obsolete, actually. 01 body. Okay, and these, okay, because I unify them and then it's changed the name, then here I will call it again 01 body, and this one 02 body. I create a variation on the body too, just to make something different. I don't know, I can show you this. Okay, you can always edit. You see, if I grab now on Z, you grab only 1 point, but this is fantastic, and next time we will play with this. This is called proportional editing, and you can edit this and everything that is around with different pattern. Like for example, if I grab Z now, you see, and with the scroll wheel of the mouse, you can enlarge, or you see, you can do very nice shapes. Like for example, you can put like random, for example, and rotate around Z, and you see it's rotating randomly. Or you can rotate smooth, and you can make a head like this. Or you can select edge loop, but this we will see next time. Now I'm generating only some differentiation to have two different bodies. Okay, then we have body 1 and body 2. Okay, then we have our backgrounds. Now we can put things all around. Then the background might be probably in the center, or maybe not. We can take the both of them and move them on the back, probably a bit on the top. Then we can put our body in the center, the both of them, and we can put some accessories. Now let's create some funny accessories. For example, we can create a donut, Shift A, mesh, torus. When you create a primitive, what happened here? You can see different setting. Okay, before to press anything else, you create this setting as you want, and now we have accessories, which is donut, and we call it, probably we put it in accessory, sorry, new collection. We have to make new collection. We do from here 01 donut, and then I show you the last thing. We can even import or append from other project, and now I append one accessories from the Voodoo Brigada White Magic. For example, append, I go inside the Voodoo Brigada White Magic thing, there is many, okay, and I can search for an entire collection, which is, for example, here there is not actually, sorry for that. Let's put another extra object. Oops. It's now importing all that thing, and I can choose what you use and then remove everything else. Maybe it takes time. Okay, okay, there is everything. Let's put, for example, the camera. Okay, the camera of the, okay. Then we bring this out. Everything else we remove. Okay, then these I put M accessories, new collection 02 camera. I remove all these extra objects, delete hierarchy, then I remove everything, and now I have these two objects that I can put as extra. I can scale it down, move it here, rotate Z, like if it's on his neck. Okay, and this is, of course, then when you will export one by one, and this is, you know, a very basic NFT project, you know, at the beginning, the setting up of, you know, having body traits, accessories, and background. We will continue next time by making this project more beautiful, starting modeling and starting something more advanced, and it's gonna be nice because we will create a light set, etc. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.